Man, okay then.
Hello, internet. Wally cutting it.
I'm
real
gonna start
close
putting
there.
everyone who talks during my countdown in detention. And
Uh,
you all know who you are because it's all of you.
It's
never
always me. It's always me.
It's all of you.
Sometimes
all of
it's you. You gonna put yourself in detention?
I'm allowed to do whatever the fuck I want. I press the buttons.
Yeah, he's the producer. He can do whatever the fuck he
Button
wants.
pusher right here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hi,
Producer gets to do
internet.
whatever the hell.
Hello.
Everyone shut up, Val's
welcome,
talking.
Welcome to Red Venehn. Here to play a game. Hi, everyone. We're playing the Dragon Age RPG today, like we do every Monday, and thank you for being here, joining us for that. We are. I'm so thrown off now because of the way we started. We are going
I
to.
really would think you'd be used to it at this point.
Yeah, you'd think, but no, because I don't, because war never changes. Speaking of which, thanks for hanging out with us here tonight. We're playing Dragons. We're getting into some really heavy shit here with the Blight and all that good stuff. If you have not joined us before, welcome. You can get, this is episode 33 of our mini series Dragon Age, and we are if you're confused as to what's going on, you can look at all of our stuff over on YouTube.
So are we.
Yeah, links below us if you're watching us live right now. I'm going to go in and talk about other things we got going on the channel before we get started and recap everything. So if you are joining us live, our next stream will be on Thursday this week. This is an off week for Tuesdays. We will be back with more Elegance and Vigilance on Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So please come hang out with us for that. It's D&D and Good Society. Sid runs it. A bunch of us playing it. And I'll let Sid talk about it. Otherwise, I think our schedule is mostly normal for this week. We'll be returning with Ward 47 this coming Saturday for the last arc, or kind of finalizing our show there, our game of Parslings. So I highly recommend people join us for the final leg of that journey before we move on to whatever we're doing next, which we haven't officially announced yet. I think that's it. I don't really have any other announcements or any other strange things going on, so I will turn things over to my lovely players here to introduce themselves, talk about who they are, what they do on and off this channel, and who they are playing tonight. Starting...
It's the same order as usual, baby.
Oh,
we sit next to each other regularly.
Perfect. Well, then I will let Van kick things off.
You're giggling about you saying you don't have any strange things to talk about.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Van, and I'm always this far over on the screen. You can find me on the internet's fucking nowhere, because I hate social media. Come hang out in the GGK Discord if you want to speak directly to me. Otherwise, this is all you get. Sorry. Love it or leave it, whatever. I had a really long day at work. And I'm ready to start a war. Woo! I stream on Twitch a lot. You can find me on Sunday nights on twitch.tv/lbhackmup playing Dungeons and Dragons. You can find me here Thursdays through Mondays playing in several games. A couple of which have already been mentioned. And also running Dungeons and Dragons on Saturday mornings most weeks when I'm not too tired. But today I am playing Venehn, who is an elven marksman, and let's all say what kind of dog we think we are.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I don't have an answer, but I think it's a fun question. The Imperial Shih Tzu of the party.
Little Shih Tzu. Aw. The hair perfectly coiffed. I love it. That's so great.
And knows it.
Yeah.
Knows it. Always happy. My grandma has a Shih Tzu, and she's great. Her name's Tallulah. That's me.
Hey, I'm right next to you. Hi, I'm Katrina Sid.
What?
I'm in your house. You can find me all over the internet at Greek Sid. I'm here Thursday through Mondays. Like Val said, what just happened?
She's in the chat saying Imperial shitster more. You're right.
You're right.
You're right to have said
absolutely right.
it.
You're right. You're right.
You're absolutely right.
This is correct. Like Val said, I run our game of Elegance and Vigilance on Thursdays at 7 o'clock Eastern. It's Good Society, it's Dungeons and Dragons, it's Regency Superheroes, and I believe we're jumping into a mystery about what the hell happened with them. They're automatons. We're gonna find out. So check that out on Thursday. Tonight I'm playing Yasmera. She is our Kunari Shadow. Big dog. Big dog, but it's actually like a really sweet dog. Like
Great Dane.
I was thinking even like a mastiff.
I think I was gonna say
maybe?
mastiff. I was gonna say
Like a
mastiff.
big old
yeah.
cute ass
or,
mastiff.
Or a Siberian wolfhound.
I do love a wolfhound.
That makes sense too.
I'm gonna go Irish wolfhound because they're still about the size
Yeah.
of ponies, but they're actually really really sweet. Yep,
That's correct.
that's me.
It's me time. Sup, y'all? It's me, well, your favorite non-binary slime best friend. Yeah, me time. Go on, laugh what I said. It's me time. It's me.
I'm just mad I didn't say
Me
it.
time.
It's me, your non-binary slime best friend on the internet, who you can find me at WALLE132 on all these socials, just like the cute little Disney robot. Just look for me there and you'll find me. Or you can just chat with me in the Discord. I'm probably going to be more there because guess what? I got laid off, so I'm not going to be staying on Twitter all day long. So, dab. You can find me here on GGK Thursdays through Saturdays on all the games that everyone has talked about already. Playing in them, they're fun. You should check them out. But tonight you'll see me playing Garas, the elven duelist, who is a Siberian husky. Loud. Yeah, it is right there. Capable work dog, but you know what?
If he doesn't get to run around enough, immediately starts screaming and doesn't stop.
Yep, exactly. That's Garas right there.
Someone please clip this.
All right, so that leaves me, I guess. Hi, Internet. Hi, Mom. I'm Sita. Mom, you already know who I am. Let's see. You can find me playing this lovely game with this lovely people every Monday and every other Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, playing Escape Velocity at 7 o'clock Eastern. And well, last week I made my murder robot made a deal with the Purple God of Commerce. So come check that out. You can find me at Mr. Wilt most places on the internet, but like many of us, just kind of not doing that much. Send me a message, I'll respond. Finding me more likely, though, is in the chats during many of these wonderful games, trying to distract my friends and fellow players from being serious while they're playing, which, I mean, look at us. But tonight, I am playing Andros Philippe Bastille de Cartier, also known as Carter, the human arcane warrior. And I think Carter's not a dog. He's absolutely like a Siberian or a Siamese cat. Like he's like out of the group. He's the dog that's not a dog.
Yep.
He's one of those cats that was like raised around dogs. It's like those cats that are raised around horses and they do like the prance.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Sometimes I lay down on Wally and he doesn't notice until he gets up, and I just stay on there.
Oh,
And then it's like really scary because how did you get to this apartment?
yeah.
How did you do this? How are you even in the same state as them? And then
And
we
that
all
just
have to have a
leaves-
crisis.
Me trying to corral this group of animals
I'm extremely well behaved. I have no idea.
into
what you're
playing
talking
this
about.
game. Hi everyone, I'm Val. You can find me at the Kraken's Crown, lurking around the internet. Mostly not really on social media anymore, but you can find me on our GGK Discord if you want to join us there. Links below our faces. Otherwise, I'm here Thursday, a few nights a week, Thursdays through Mondays, playing running games. I run in this game on Mondays. I run our Game of Ward 47 on Fridays while that is wrapping up. So, and then I'm on a bunch of other streams in between, including a lot of the ones that have been mentioned. But tonight, I will be continuing running this game, whatever you want to classify this as. So, y'all ready to get started?
A short short series.
Just to play around with the mechanics, like learn
Hey,
the
guys,
game
yeah,
a little
let's- hey,
bit.
guys.
Like the gamer.
Hey guys, y'all
Yeah.
want to play a mini series about Dragon Age? You know, it'll be about 3 or 4 games long.
Just like see how we feel about the system.
Yeah, then maybe
we're
we'll
still
move on to
getting a
something
feel
else.
for it.
Maybe after the 5th session we may change or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I will say, in your defense, this is session 33, and sometimes some of us still don't really remember how the rules work.
That is also true.
But I think that might be a personal problem on my account.
That's when the game will end, when I feel that y'all have fully grasped the rules. I'm just going to end it that session. And that's it.
Don't tell Val I've been faking it for like 20 sessions.
Wait, only
Understanding the
20?
rules or not understanding the rules?
Not understanding the rules was the
Okay.
joke. I've been faking not understanding them so we can keep playing was the joke.
He's been
Perfect.
faking recording these things. We're not even on Twitch.
Yeah,
right
we're
now.
not even starting
Yeah.
right now. It's all a
The
elaborate
little
ruse.
chat is just like a text chain I have with like a couple of people.
Yeah.
I'll make it look like
Alrighty.
Twitch chat. Just go in the WhatsApp and just fucking say some shit.
Previously on Red Jenny, our gang, our crew of miscreants, criminals, and otherwise finally was reaching
Some people would
the-
say noble heroes.
finally was reaching near the conclusion of their journey to the city of Hosberg in the Anderfels. You were traveling by ship down the Lottenfluss River towards the city, which has been taken over by the Wardens as the seat of their military presence in the Anderfels in this northern region of Thedas, in an effort to curb the blight incursion in these lands and prevent the Darkspawn from marching south. You along reaching the city of Castle, a short ways away, only a few more days' journey to Hosberg, had encountered a strange vision as you were visited by none other than the architect himself. In this strange, twisting, sort of hallucinatory landscape that the architect was controlling, he seemed to be attempting to make some sort of deal with you, or at least persuade you to his cause, explaining a bit of his motivations, listing them as being for the good of Thedas, and truly wanting there to the blight as it is to end, and creating a tenuous peace between the Darkspawn and the people of these realms. You were less than persuaded by his words. Some of you antagonizing or at least refuting the architect in so many words, especially Garas, in being now infected by the taint and be on his way to Hosberg for a cure, or at least a temporary stopgap to prevent dying in the next few weeks. I think you made a bit of kind of an agreement with the architect that maybe if he showed you some sort of proof of his claims that he could end the blight, or had some sort of peaceful means of creating this armistice, that you would be willing to entertain that. And the architect essentially said he'd be in touch, and then you all woke from your sleep, this encounter having existed in a shared dream space between the four of you. You discussed this information, deciding on what your next course of action would be until you arrived in Hosberg. Your cargo of explosives and wine being unloaded, you met Sergeant Hansen, a member of the Grey Warden military presence here, and your guide of sorts in the city of Hosberg. Sergeant Hansen took you and your explosives up to the fortress on this cliffside city, and there you encountered a familiar face. You met, you reconnected with Garahel, a heroic and acclaimed warden, Grey Warden, who had been recently promoted to the position of field commander here in the city of Hosberg, leading this war against the Darkspawn. You shared your reasons for being here, and that you have been contracted to bring these explosives to Hosberg. Garahel seeming surprised by this, until you told him that this was the doing of the cousin of Lambert Valmont, who is the field commander for the for the Chevalier, the Orlesian forces that had been dispatched here. And he told you that, unfortunately, Captain Valmont was not currently in Hosberg, as a scouting party had gone missing a few days prior. And earlier that day, Captain Lambert, took a small contingent of wardens and chevaliers and made his way to find these lost Grey Wardens. You immediately took the task, along with Sergeant Hansen, of tracking down Captain Lambert, and you found him fighting off a small contingent of Darkspawn that were harrying and attacking the Warden scouts that had been pinned down in a small ruined segment of Hosberg. You were successful through some clever arcane magics and ambush tactics employed by all of you, climbing up on roofs, and various stunts ensued until you had succeeded in routing these Darkspawn and rescuing the Wardens. And with all of you having largely no worse for wear, they've come out of the battle mostly unscathed.
Well, I got an axe thrown at me.
You did.
And
yeah.
I was actually untouched.
It hurts so bad. I
was
almost
doing
died.
You almost died.
I almost died.
For the most part, y'all were okay. And Venehn hopped on the back of Lambert's horse, and you all began trekking back to the castle of Hosberg. And that's where we're picking up here today. Most of you traveling on foot along these roads back to the Grey Warden encampment and the last sort of refugees of the city of Hosberg here.
Does he let me ride all the way back? He doesn't say like, okay, this is awkward.
No.
Oh, what a sweetie.
Yeah, I don't think he really says anything. You're kind of injured and kind of takes that as like, all right, I can at least play this off with my with my charges here, my soldiers.
Yeah.
I took 9 damage.
Yeah, you're a little bloody.
Listen.
Venehn has a skinned knee.
Venehn has a knee.
Well, no, and just like a really cute little like slash across
Yeah,
his cheek.
like a
No, I
little
did
tiny-
fully get an axe in me.
You did.
Yeah.
But
What
they have
he
a
doesn't
skin-
know is that it's my heavily armored arm. So it just
Yeah.
kind of like, ow.
It hurts.
You arrive back at the where the chevaliers or the Elysian Mids here and the wardens kind of break off to their separate encampments here. The wardens heading back inside the fortress, and the Orlesian soldiers heading back to their tents. And Lambert looks at you, Venehn, or kind of over his shoulder and says, I suppose we should probably talk when we have the chance.
Oh, and when will that be?
I need to check on my soldiers and write a formal report of today's incident, but maybe this evening?
All right.
Be best to have this conversation in private.
Yes, I think you're correct. Shall I wait for you to call on me, Captain?
You can come by my tent here after sundown, unless you'd rather me meet you someplace on neutral grounds.
No, I'll come find you then.
Such a power play.
Can I ask why you're here?
It's kind of a long story, actually. I don't say that to deflect. I'm being honest. It's kind of a long story.
Well, we can discuss it later if you wish.
I'm sure you'll want to hear the whole thing, so I'll get cleaned up. I'll see you soon.
Right. Look good, Venehn.
Tell me that I already had a shower.
You jump off the horse.
Very gracefully.
Uh-huh.
Need I remind you that I have a talent called horsemanship?
Yes, you do.
I haven't got to use it since I took it, so I'm just kind of...
There are lots of horses here for you to use
I'm
if you
just
want
getting it in while I can.
Yeah. Okay, you all jump off, and I assume the four of you are going to accompany Sergeant Hanson back to the warden. I think the sergeant needs to report back to Garahel and kind of figures that the four of you probably want to.
Because that was the thing, right? We were gonna go find them and get everybody back, and then kind of
Yeah.
sit down with
Yeah.
Garahel and be like,
Yeah,
all right,
and
like,
kind of
here's
explain like
what we're gonna do.
get a situation report and find out what's going on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you head back in, following along with the sergeant. You get back again, just to kind of paint the scene, because I think we were might have glossed over a little bit last time. The city of Hosberg, very large city. This fortress, this former castle, sitting at the top here of the city, overlooking the cliffs. The city itself is largely unoccupied. You can see it suffered a lot of the same destruction as the surrounding cities, as Castle and some of the other places that you've been through on the way here. However, the city does seem to be, there are still people living here, especially it looks like through the winter, people probably got a little braver and were like living in some of the homes. So there are like levels of encampment and levels of like fortification here. Obviously the biggest stronghold being the castle, where most people have been brought into. Those that haven't been brought in the castle are living in like the surrounding buildings and some of these walled-in areas around it. Pretty much nobody, you don't see any sign of people residing in the farmsteads or kind of the outer districts of the city, on the chance that Darkspawn come to attack. But lots of patrols, there's lots of presence here. You can see trenches dug around the city by the wardens, who again do not have nearly enough numbers to defend the city in its entirety, and have largely fallen back to some of the inner fortifications to maintain those. But you head into the what would have been like the courtyards for the castle, and back to where you had encountered Garel before. Lots of wardens here. It almost seems like, I mean, the Grey Wardens have officially like kind of taken over the city. They are ruling the city essentially. But there are some remnants of like nobility and stuff around. You do see some maybe Anderfell nobility that appear to be residing within the castle. This being the safest place for them currently. Those that have not were not willing to fully evacuate to a different area of the country and leave their riches to be plundered by the survivors here in Hosberg.
I have a question.
Yes.
So like is it just like some of the nobility that's here as far as like civilians
You gather
go?
there,
Like what's like the ratio that we're dealing with?
You would
That's
probably
a very
say,
specific question. I'm sorry.
Sure. No, that's fine. So as things stand right now, there are about 800 Grey Wardens. There
That's more than I
are,
thought.
yeah, I mean, it's more than it's probably the largest number of Grey Wardens that you have seen in one location.
Okay.
But like I said, this is a city that was probably manned by close to like 5,000 troops at one point. So they're working at like 1/5 capacity with the chevaliers that are here, and some of the others. You also see, I forgot to mention this last time, you see a banner near, like, kind of off from the chevalier encampments. You see a banner with a like a red dragon across it. And you've seen this before. It is the Ruby Drake Mercenary Company. you saw their banners back at the Winter Palace when you were there last time. But as far as like the amount of civilians you would gather here, they're probably still close to maybe, I'd say, based on your best guess, within the city, maybe shy of 10,000.
Just civilians?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 800 of those are Grey Wardens?
No, that's civilians.
Oh,
not,
okay.
not
Plus
wardens.
800 Grey Wardens,
Okay.
Not fighting force.
plus the mercenaries, plus however many chevaliers.
Yeah. Yeah, and then a mix that, like, if you're talking about like a mix of nobility versus like common citizens, I mean a fraction of that. There's maybe.
Would you say like the 1%?
Yeah, maybe like 1% of that group are nobility here.
That's very helpful. I was trying to get a sense of like,
How many people you're?
yeah,
dealing
just like a
with.
general sense of like the scale of
Yeah.
Mossberg. So
Yeah, this is not like you are not dealing with a small military fortification with a couple hundred people here. This is a city that has been evacuated, and the only people here are the people that either refuse to leave or were not able to leave.
a whole 10,000 of them.
Yeah, but this is probably a city at some point that probably had around 100,000.
This was like a big city. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
You
That changes
you ha-
things in my brain. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Always happy to give context. You head into the castle, and you're rounding a corner, heading over to like the war room area, and you hear like a pitter patter of feet, and then like bumping into, I'll say like Carter near the front, kind of runs into a small like child, about maybe like 3 or 4 years old, sort of like runs into you, and like brandishes a stick in your direction and says, looks up at you and says, "Die, Darkspawn."
I assure you, I have no darkspawn. But then he sweeps his leg back behind him in a fighting stance and says, "But you shall not defeat me this day." And he sticks out his finger like a little sword.
He like holds up the sword to you and begins to like, looks like he's gonna lunge in your direction when from the side, like very swiftly, a woman comes up and grabs him. She's wearing a very elegant like blue, kind of navy blue dress, and despite all the destruction of the wartime here, you can see like is still making an effort to like present, and she picks him up and she says, "Gravad, you cannot run off like that, please." She looks at the group of you and looks to you and says, "My apologies." And then Sergeant Hansen immediately bows his head, and he says, "No apologies needed, Your Grace." And kind of looks to the rest of you. Like,
I mean, Venon's immediately going along with it
Oh,
just
yeah.
because
Who
he
dis?
knows
Who
better.
dis? Who dis?
But do we know who this is?
Yeah, do we know who this is? Yeah.
That's
Cultural
great.
lore?
That's a big
That's
one.
a good question. You
Marquis
could
is your
make
grace, right?
Cultural
no.
Marquez, or
This
that's
would be
like-
that is in Orlais.
Oh.
That you are in the Anderfels
Oh,
now.
I forgot. We're in a different country.
Yeah. Go ahead and let's do a cultural lore. So it'd be cunning cultural lore, or just cunning for those of you that don't have that.
Wait, I have a cunning.
I have a
I have a-
cunning
I have
of
a cunning.
something. I have a cunning of one. Let me see if I
Damn,
can do
dude.
something with that. Oh shit, I can.
What you got?
18.
That is 17.
I'm gonna try.
Go for it.
Not bad.
11.
Okay.
There you go.
I know what your grace means, and I know what to do with that. It's called a bow.
Yeah, we bow. Garas bows.
My
so
brain
who-
exploded. I rolled 3 ones.
Oh, no, buddy.
Oh, Carter.
Okay, get those out now because that
Yeah.
Carter's-
killed
Carter's
Garrus
like-
a little bit later today. So
Carter's like, what is this weird, like, Dalish word you're saying? Grace?
I think
Ga-
Carter.
Garase?
Carter is
No, that's
still
Garrett.
under.
That's Garrett.
That's
That's
me.
Garrett.
Garrus.
That's Elvish
You're
for
Garrus.
Garrett.
So who had the highest again?
18.
18.
You know who did.
Yeah, come on.
So yeah, the nerd. You
Shut up, she
look-
could kill you.
You mean like you bow your head? Yes, you've tried to stay up to date to a lot of the like changes. I mean, there have been a lot from the death of the Antivan royal family to whispers of the Ferelden sort of banner lords beginning to unite under looking to. There have been a lot of political movements in the last couple of decades, and even more so in the last couple of years, as a lot of things have changed around the Blight. People using that as opportunities to take power, or people having lost power. As you're looking at this woman, kind of taking into context clues, because you wouldn't have a picture, like you don't have like a Wikipedia entry or something.
Age, has a
read of this.
child.
And yeah, you're looking, and especially you gave the name Gravad. As you're looking, that child, that is the king of the Anderfels. That is King Gravad, because his father was killed very only like maybe a year or two ago, during the when the Darkspawn attacked Hosberg earlier on in the siege, and that would make this woman likely Queen Regent Morrowind, the current Queen Regent of the Anderfels.
She can't just be queen.
No.
Cool, Anderfels.
Because
you made a 3-year-old
right
your
now-
king.
Right now there's a lot because of what's happened, what has happened here in the death of the king of the Anderfels, and a lot of all the destruction that's happened in this region. There are a lot of nobles in this region that are currently claiming the throne and claiming to be the rightful king now that the current king is 3 years old. So
Not the most outrageous thing to claim.
her stake as Queen Regent is very tenuous right now. And yeah, she's currently under the protection of the Grey Wardens, and you kind of putting those things together.
Yasmera even gives a little bow to the little guy.
Oh yeah, like Garas, like following Yasmira's lead, like sees that, and like does a little bow to both her and the little tiny dude. She's like, Your Grace, Your Majesty.
She gives a very polite nod.
I give a gentle bow because he's king, but there's no reason a 3-year-old should have that inflated self-importance. Venehn knows what happens when your self-importance is that important to you.
Personal experience.
Turn off like Venehn.
Yep.
You don't want the king to be me. Even Venehn knows that.
But she very
another
Venehn.
at Sergeant Hansen kind of giving that very kind of that apology, very again that formality, and she says, I'll make sure he plays somewhere a little bit more out of the way. Thank you. And she sort of again is holding him as he's still trying to squirm out of her arms, and she goes walking. You can see a couple of attendants behind her that were coming down the hall begin to follow her back the other way.
Boy king.
Garas, king.
That's the king. That's a whole little king right there.
I just locked swords with the king of the Anders.
Well, know what that means? That's called treason. You're about to get your head chopped off later on.
In your defense, I
don't.
don't think you actually had a sword at any point.
I don't know about you, but my hands are registered weapons, so.
Can you do that?
Sergeant,
Oh no, yeah. There's paperwork you got to fill out. For
What?
it. Yeah, don't you know that? Yasmira is the only one of us who has it.
Wait, don't I know that? Do you think I do paperwork?
They
Well,
also
you
have an
because-
insurance policy, so.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, I should definitely get one of those.
Well, but you said you didn't want to do the paperwork.
That does sound like me. That's a tiny king.
I know.
What are you doing down there, tiny king? Looking for apples?
Probably looking for apples, maybe squirreling away some cookies. Do you think if he just snaps his fingers, they give him cookies or something?
I doubt it. Because that would make his mother regent, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Carter turns to Sergeant Hanson and says, "Despite our appearances, I assure you, we are a entirely capable lot."
Sergeant Hanson is still at any moment of downtime where you all start talking. He's still trying to figure out who you people are and why you're here and what makes the four of you so important.
All he has
We
to
just
do
defeated
is ask,
Dark
baby.
Spawn. We brought
know,
the
just
bros
ask us,
back.
come on.
Yeah, he did just see us be incredibly competent.
No,
we
he
are
did.
really
Like he's now
badass.
seen you fight very competently. He's like, all right,
Because
not
Carter's
honorables.
crazy good at magic. I barely got touched and was running around.
I jumped off
Yeah.
the goddamn
Well,
roof
and
Again,
didn't even get
because
hurt.
when you-
And
when
Garrus
you
like
first
definitely stabbed a bunch of
arrived-
people. So
When
can't
you
remember
first
if he got
arrived,
hurt or
like
not,
he's
but probably.
he's
I
looking
didn't.
at these four people and being like, are
Yeah.
they nobility? Who like? But then you fought, and it's like, okay, not that mercenary company, not enough of them for that. Like, who are these people?
We
and
just
why are
showed
they
up.
here?
That's all we did.
Yeah, and so he just kind of clears his throat. He says, yeah, it's really fine. Please.
you're making that face again, Hanson.
What face?
You know the,
The
face,
face
that
you
you like,
make every time we talk.
Mhm. It's this face.
I'll work on that. We
You
should get
don't
back
have to work on anything. Ignore them.
We should get
No,
back to
don't
Garrel.
ignore us. Ask us questions if you have them.
Please don't. Yeah, you know we kind of die if you don't give us attention.
Yeah.
Oh, this way. And he leads you
Bops down
down
the hallway.
he leads you down the hall, and actually goes past the war room, not in the same area. And he turn over his shoulder as he leads up a flight of stairs. He says, "Garrel's probably in the rookery right now. Actually, we'll head up that way and see if we can find him."
I love birds.
And leads you up, and then through a door into a over a like a parapet up on this higher portion of the castle. And you realize that when he said rookery, he wasn't referring to birds.
Oh.
As you see here, about 15 griffins that
birds.
are perched along the parapets, some of them with some like blankets thrown over them as they're kind of resting, others being like brushed down, and you can see while they're being attended to, Garahel is over by one of the griffins, currently like brushing it down and sort of like scritching it behind its ears. Seems very familiar with this one. You can see it's a beautiful kind of silver griffin with a bit of like brown feathering underneath, and it has you see it's the most like defined. It looks like it's definitely season battle. You can see some like some like scars on it from where it's probably taken some wounds before. It also, its tail is a little bent, like it was broken at some point. It didn't set quite right. And as Sergeant
You still need a pet, right?
Sergeant Hanson
Always use
leads you
another
up. Garahel, who's still kind of on his knees on the ground, looks behind him and says, "Oh, fantastic, you're back."
Venehn is not hiding his excitement about the griffins at all. Very excited, extremely excited to be here.
Garahel sees, gives a familiar nod to Sergeant Hanson and sees all of you. I imagine Ven looking very excited, Carter beginning to draw. I imagine maybe a bit of excitement from Garrus and Yaz as
Garrus's
well.
eyes are wide because these are probably because he's a city boy. So you know that one video of that kid in the class when they brought like the snake into the class, and the kid is like, oh, that's what Garrus is
Never seen
doing
a snake
right now.
before.
Is he's like,
Yeah, I mean, it's very likely this is the first time any of you have seen Griffins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Garrus
just
just-
trying not to look excited.
And
one eyebrow.
Yeah.
Garahel says, "Oh, I didn't think about it. You probably haven't seen griffins before in
Not that
person.
close.
no, never before seen a griffin. Are they fluffy?
They can
Of course
be.
they're
yes.
fluffy. Look at them.
They still have their winter coats right now. I'm trying to brush them off as it's getting a bit warmer.
Can we hug them?
Right. You can. Slowly. This is Crooktail. This is mine. Raised him out of his clutch since he hatched. If you can be a bit skittish, but just approach calmly, and shouldn't be any problem.
Garas slowly walks up to Crooktail, like perfectly like calm. It's like, "Hello, Crooktail."
You can see the griffin is like was very calm, like eyes like half lidded as Garahel was petting, and then kind of like goes more alert as Garahel stops and starts talking. Just turns it turns his head towards you, and just like watching you inquisitively as you're approaching. Doesn't like bristle or make any signs of being like antagonized or hostile of you.
You,
Back of your
you
head.
he like holds out the back of his hand. You're very pretty.
And just sort of like boops your hand.
How do you manage to talk so quietly and make Griffin snort so loud?
I don't know. It's a skill.
Are you part Griffin?
Yes.
Obviously.
You have to tell us.
You have
It's
to
the
tell
law,
her
it's
it's
entrapment.
Yeah, just like with cops, you know? Shit.
It just kind of like nudges you, letting you pet him.
Pets. Like, oh, he's so soft. Oh my gosh. I love you, Crooktail. I love you so much.
Yasmera puts both of her hands in her pockets and fists them, not wanting to admit that she would really like to pet the griffin.
Yasmera, this is like a great opportunity for some like up close and personal research. Like if you wanted to like take some notes or something.
That would require getting a little closer, I
I
suppose.
mean, I think it's like probably the smart option. You know.
Well, if it's research based, I suppose.
I mean, if we're going to be helping with the whole war effort, like we need to know every weapon in our arsenal, right?
Griffins are a great resource
Mhm.
for the Wardens.
Big fluffy weapons is what they are. Like if this was an anime, you see Garrus would be all chibi, just clumping onto the neck of Crooktail, like rubbing his face in his feathers.
So I think maybe, just to Yasmera. So I think maybe you can pet them. Is all I'm saying. But I won't tell anybody. I'll tell everyone it's for science.
Slowly.
But like the grumpiest one.
It like kind of nudges forward towards you, getting very close, and that like clicks its beak twice before nudging you too.
There's some creatures.
He likes you.
It's so
course.
fluffy I could die.
Fearsome,
He's a
It's
bit
so
of a whore. He
fluffy,
likes
I
anyone
could
that gives him attention.
Die!
fearsome, fluffy. Fearsome creatures.
You hear
Yasmera, say your truth. You know you lie.
Bless you.
Heard,
Thank you.
chef.
you
Heard,
hear
Chef.
another voice from behind the four of you and says, I didn't hear that we had 4 more beasts as we're adding to our little stable here.
Who's talking shit?
Who's
Who's talking
shit? You're about to
shit?
get hit.
And you see striding up in her jerkin and breeches, so like kind of a heavier coat on, the very short chopped black hair. You see Amaris Vale, the commander of the Ruby Drakes, who you met
Yeah.
before at the Winter
Yeah,
Palace.
She's allowed
it's
to
our
talk
bestie.
shit.
She can say how much shit she wants about us.
She gives the 4 of you a smile. She says, I heard we had some familiar faces coming through here. Good to see you all again.
Hi, Amaris. How you
she says,
doing?
Nice to meet you. Was it Count Venehn? Duke Venehn? I don't really remember what title
Oh,
you gave you.
you know.
I'm Venehn.
Right. And she walks past the 4 of you, walks up next to Garahel, gives him a kiss, and then turns back around to all of you, saying, without any like sort of indication that that's out of the ordinary, and says, so what brings the 4 of you up this far north?
You know, work.
The usual stuff.
Right? I suppose we probably should talk about any specific details of that in private at the council meeting or the end. And Garahel says, yeah, we talked over the engagement plans and what our strategy for the fight. Let's
Okay.
Let's move downstairs. We can talk more openly there.
Oh, of course. Right.
Please, follow me.
About all of your
Yes.
engagement plans.
I know, right?
He kind of like looks at you a bit confused, like he doesn't understand what the joke is that you're talking about.
He's such a himbo.
As he leaves, Sergeant Hansen says, well, I'm glad I got to work with all of you. I'm sure I'll be seeing you again very soon. Should you need me for anything, just let me know.
Oh, we definitely will.
Oh, don't worry, we will come
And
back.
Garahel stops and says, actually, Sergeant, I'll probably be needing you later. I'll come and find you. And Sergeant Hansen gives a nod, salutes, and turns away. And you are all led.
And we're all looking at Garahel like, for what?
Sergeant Hansen's in charge of the joining.
Oh.
Is
I
that
wasn't
a
gonna bring
sex reference?
Venehn actually does just like crack up.
Yasmera just face palms.
Amaris is like
Garas is buries his face in Crooktail.
Yeah.
Carter, that was good.
That was really
That
funny.
was good. That was a good
Amad-
one.
Amadis just starts cackling too as she heads back inside, not want to stay in the cold any longer, and Garahel just shakes his head, trying to
How red is his face
stifle
right
a-
now?
Oh,
Yeah.
very, very. Trying to stifle a grin, and leads you all back down into the war room, where you were previously. As the chamber shuts, it is just the four of you, Garahel and Amadis Vale. He kind of like taking more casual tone says, "Sit, please. Do you need anything? I know you've probably been traveling for a while to get here."
Yeah, I
Oh,
got
you know.
stabbed.
I'm fine. I mean, I could use a drink or something if you got anything.
Then he just takes his shirt off. It's just bleeding.
Right.
To do something about
I
that.
can
then,
get the medics if you need.
No, I just like a roll of bandages or something. I'll be fine.
Right. Amadis
The
says,
shirt was just getting really wet.
Amadis says, "I'll take care of it," and she very slowly walks out of the room.
Oh no, that's not what I wanted.
Just like again, that very slowly of like, I'm not gonna rush. He's taking off his shirt. Like, why would I? Why am I gonna rush this?
You would rush so you could hurry back and see what's going on under there. Amateur.
But yeah. Well, no, she'll rest once she leaves the room. But yeah,
Okay,
the
okay,
door
okay.
closes.
Oh, she's playing cool. I get it. Okay.
Yeah. You get some drinks. Venehn, you're patched up.
Thank you.
I believe you could use a major action to take a breather and probably get back to full.
I don't remember
So-
what I do for that, but probably.
It's a D6.
Have we not done the healing rules?
It's a
Oh, it's been a long
D6
time.
It's a
plus
D6.
your level plus your con modifier.
Yeah.
Damn, you just had.
I
that in your
should
brain.
know
did it the
because
other
I've
day.
done it enough. I've done it enough
Wait,
times.
it's a D6 plus my level plus my. I'm only down 9 and I'm level 9.
Yeah, so you're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're
So-
You'll get it right back. Yeah.
Yeah, you can take the heal action for a major action. You benefit from that once, and a breather is 5 minutes, and it's 5 plus Constitution plus level.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
Okay. Yeah,
and you can
that's
do that once.
Yeah.
That's
You're-
more. That's
you're-
because I'm only down 9. So
Yeah, you can do a breather per encounter that you
okay.
that you
Well,
have.
I'll do one.
Okay. So, she comes
Well,
back. You're bandaged
shoulder.
up. You get some drinks. You're sitting around the
I don't put
the
my
war
shirt back
table.
on.
Naturally.
Perfect. The war
Gareth
table
takes his
here
shirt
has
off also.
has a map of
I always try to
the
scream me.
surrounding
You don't-
region. You can see
I wanna
Hosberg
take my
near the
shirt
river
off.
edge. There are the little like tokens for the different encampment, like different the chevaliers, the ruby drakes, and the wardens. The wardens making up the bulk of the forces, and then you can see to the north the many more markers for the darkspawn forces, and Garahel actually moves over. Like you can see, he's got a roll of paper that Sergeant Hansen gave to him. Moves over to the board, grabs a few more off to the side, and puts them up next to the Darkspawn forces, indicating that they have confirmed more in the area. You can see they're outnumbered about 3 to 1, based on the troop movements that you see there. And Garahel sits down. Amada's sitting down next to him, and he says, "So, I'm sure you have some questions. I have some questions. We just sort of go around in a circle, and everybody gets a turn. I don't know what the best way to do this is here."
Why don't we just start from the beginning and sort of consolidate what we know?
Right. So I know that from you told me about earlier, you were hired by Duke Marquis Valmont on behest of his cousin, Lambert, Captain Lambert, to bring the explosives here to help us finish this, end this siege. Do you want to fill in the gaps from there? Do y'all just tell him everything that you've done?
Pretty much.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine there's anything we want to...
The only thing I can ask to like zoom in, I mean, most of the stuff is pretty standard. The biggest questions I think on your minds right now would be the disciples of silence and the architect.
Yeah, I
Because
like-
you have not brought up the fact about like Reyes and the other former wardens that were.
I think we
Yeah.
gotta.
Yeah.
I
We
think
have-
we
like-
gotta.
I think Garas would probably be the first to bring it up.
Not to
about-
mention, the architect did say that he wanted to have a meeting with Garahel, essentially.
Yeah.
So we,
Yeah.
might even want to warn him that that's
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
That's probably sort of like what the story is building to, I think, of like, so
Yeah.
here's everything that happened, and like,
So then,
let us tell you about this crazy
yeah.
guy, right?
Then, look, let me tell you about this cartoon character. The architect. They want to have like a sit down with you to kind of really explain themselves or to kind of prove what they're doing has a purpose. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of them.
They claim
Especially their
there's
flowers.
an additional step after
Yeah.
joining.
That essentially like what makes the calling not like go away, or
Yeah.
they're not subject to it anymore.
Who were the wardens? What were their names?
Oh.
Grace.
Oh, we would remember for sure.
Faye.
Hey.
Briola.
Dolan. and Rayla.
Dolan.
We did.
Yeah, we did it, guys. Yay.
Yay!
High fives all around.
You did most of it.
You
Just
can
like
see
Yasmera would.
You
You
know
see,
that?
kind of blanches a bit at that, and he says, "Reyes, human, bit older,
Real shitbag.
dark hair,
Mhm.
graying.
Yeah.
Wasn't a shitbag in my experience. but-
Incredibly sure of himself is the nice way to say it.
That's us being polite.
I thought he was dead.
Oh,
No,
sure.
Super alive into winter, my dude.
Super jerky too, so
He got second place.
Yeah, but
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't
he
get money
did.
for second place.
yeah, you know.
You can look like he seems rocked by this information. This is not like y'all are making jokes and stuff. He is like completely like that has brought his mood down
So
by a
it-
large margin.
it looks like you have a bit of a personal connection with this guy.
You could say that.
You know, this is a safe place. You can talk about it.
Reyes was an officer alongside me. We were in Antiva during the siege there. I was a newer recruit at the time. I've been with the Wardens much longer than I had. I sort of looked up to him.
Well, he's a real
Uh,
dirtbag now.
Yeah.
that doesn't. There were a lot of wardens that we lost during the siege on the city, and the district that his command was stationed in was overrun. We assumed that they were all dead.
So here's my question. What exactly happened on the day that, he died?
That would be a lot to explain right now, but we were defending the city against the Darkspawn. We were very quickly being overrun, and then the infighting started. You know about that, at least. The royal family was killed. We sounded the retreat. Wardens attempted to make our escape with anyone we could bring with us, and most of us didn't make it out. I don't know how else to describe it, but a sea of death descending upon us. It wasn't until weeks after the battle that we were able to reconverge and assess our losses.
So you never had a body. You just never saw him again.
No. Any bodies or prisoners would have been carried off by the Darkspawn.
Did you recognize any of the other names? Or just Reyes?
They all would have served under his command. I recognize most of them. They were wardens. Same as he.
Okay.
Their actions are deplorable. However, having spoken somewhat extensively with Reyes, I have come to the conclusion that his motivations are out of a feeling of responsibility, perhaps guilt. I believe he fully in the plan of the architect.
Reyes was one of the most dedicated wardens. There are many here among the wardens that were conscripted to be here and would not be here otherwise. They remain as wardens, and they do not desert under the fear of death. That's our way, and as unfortunate as it is, necessary for us to fight the Darkspawn and to maintain our ranks. But Reyes was a true believer in our cause.
I think he still is, Gerhel.
He's
I don't think
still-
he sees himself as a deserter. I don't think any of them see themselves as deserters.
They feel very justified in everything they're doing.
They think they're taking the next step.
When they did what they did to me, Dolan's words were, "Welcome to the Order." Like, he knew what he was doing. It wasn't just something like, "I'm doing this out of anger or spite." No, they had full intent to make me see what they're seeing when they did this to me.
I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse.
The truth can be like that.
This architect, a Darkspawn, yes?
Unlike any other.
Sentient. Sapient.
We have some records, scrolls, bits that we've collected during the many centuries our order has been around. There may be information on the architect there. I do not possess that knowledge myself.
I'd like to take a look at it if I could.
It's yours, if you wish. I can show you. All of that aside, we have far more pressing concerns than one.
He means you, Garas.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
I figured that.
Well, that too. And also-
Excuse me. Garrus turns around, starts coughing super hard.
You're a constant pressing concern.
Garrus, I assume
You're
your
a constant
intention-
pressing concern.
Good
I
come
assume
back.
you're-
You.
I assume your intention in being here is to go through the joining.
Yep. I mean, really, there's no other thing that could save me from this, is there?
there are some amongst the Dalish clans that have methods of staving off the taint for a few months, but nothing permanent. The joining is the only way of guaranteeing your survival for more than next summer.
I also can't guarantee that we could find a clan that would help us, considering mine's dead.
There are others, but as I said, their methods are not the same as ours. If you
We came to
If
you
you
for a
wish-
reason.
Hmm?
We came to you for a reason, right, Garas?
Yes, it's true. I mean, honestly,
you-
it's the last thing I would ever consider myself doing, but I trust you.
You understand the purpose of our order, though, and the charge that we keep.
Yep. I'm aware of it.
Well, I can say firsthand that I've seen your prowess in combat. That is not in question here. I wouldn't expect you to go through the same training as most of our recruits. I could recommend you for the joining immediately, and we could conduct the rite within the next few days.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is.
You did have
Like
to,
you
like,
see-
be a Grey Warden, right?
Well, yes, part of the joining is swearing our oaths.
Would he still be able to return with us to Val Royale?
Oh, of course. We are not. Once the siege here has ended, the Wardens will be dispatched back to their own territories, and some will. I'm planning on heading to the Free Marches to continue my command there, after hopefully gathering some more support here in the Anderfels. You can see when he says that there's like almost like a haunted look in his eye for a moment. Like there's a hint of something, and then he stops and like kind of moves on. You see a flash of something he isn't saying there. He says,
Can we do a perception insight?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what you would get from an insight. I'm giving you that for free.
There's some PTSD going on.
You can't read his
Yeah.
mind as to what is bothering him. You'd have to actually ask.
Got it.
Seems
Carter!
like it's the Anderfels.
I guess
could use
Carter
spirit
could
sense.
read.
Yeah, I don't get to read his mind, but I still get a more, maybe one word.
Yeah, I
more
can give you a
accurate.
one-word
Trauma.
description for that emotion. It's embarrassment.
Mm.
That's what you get from that. There's like a deep, like
That's
there's a
interesting.
moment of like kind of this weird like embarrassment, and then kind of moves on from
Oh my
there.
god, does Garahel have like a wife back in the Anderfels?
Specifically at the mention of it needing to gather more support here. But yeah. You
No,
never
I'm
know.
sure that Venehn knows that. That's just not where his brain goes.
Yeah. But he says,
Secret family.
no,
Secret
the,
family.
the charge of most wardens is to carry on our duty to fight against the Darkspawn, but we do so mostly individually. Not a formal military, I guess, despite current appearances. This is not normal for us. Though once that the commander of the Grey does sound our, I guess, make the decision for us to take on reclaiming Antiva and seeking out the Archdemon, likely call all of as many of us to that cause as we can.
Look, you know me, I'm not the type of person who likes to believe in some kind of rules or whatever, but as I said, you're helping me out, and you're a dear friend. And if it means joining the order will help me out and also helps you out, my dear friend, you got my blade.
You have all of the friends. I believe I can speak for all of us and say we will not let him go off into combat without our aid as well.
I'm happy to have all of your support, and Garas, I'll be happy to have you as a brother.
He's a shitty little brother.
You're a shitty little brother!
I smack Yaris upside the head.
Ow! He pokes Venin's wound.
I was debating between Venehn saying nothing and looking cool or just screaming as loud as he possibly could.
I'm going to discuss with Sergeant Hansen. We have a few recruits here who finished their training, and we'll be going through the joining alongside you. And we will make the arrangements for that. Conduct the ritual here soon. You can speak with Sergeant if you have any questions leading up to it.
Well, I got no questions. I just know that Lucia is going to be laughing her ass off later on when she finds out about this.
Oh my god. She's gonna fucking lose it.
She's going to crack
Can
up.
I
If you
tell
have-
her, please?
No, I want to. Okay, you know what? Yeah,
Please.
you can tell her. You get to tell her, of course.
He finishes his like kind of like he seems to be, since you have any questions, kind of moving on from that conversation. He says, I assume if you're sticking around for that, then you may be staying around for longer, or you plan on leaving before the battle starts.
Well, you know, Venehn has people they need to talk to.
One people.
Could use your help if you're willing to give it.
Freely given.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
We didn't come all this way just to fucking, sit on our asses and drink wine. It's our
We can
wine.
do
We
that.
can drink it at home.
Yeah, we can do that at home easily. Speaking of which, this wine turned out really good. This is probably the best batch we've ever made.
Some of it's a little smoky, but honestly, I think that's good.
Well,
There was a
considering you
dragon. Did he tell you about the dragon?
You mentioned the dragon, yeah.
There's also some little gremlin dudes that try to take it also.
Do you have anyone here that could perhaps we could utilize some of that dragon scare?
Oh yeah, we can literally prove we killed a dragon.
Oh, that's
You
right,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, one of you had on your person a big old swath of
Right. We can prove it this time.
dragon hide.
We got
We
some
are
stuff
not
we can
full of
do.
shit.
Do
Yeah.
you have something that could do something with this?
Boom. Looks it over. You can see Amadis is clearly very envious of this, and you can see dollar signs in her eyes as she'll look at it and then kind of gets back. It's like, no, that's not my thing. It's not, I'm not gonna ask.
Wrong
That'd
color
be
anyway.
awkward.
Like Garrus looks over at Modest like,
And Geralt says, I am sure we have a few smiths here that would be happy for the opportunity to work
oh,
with something
wonderful.
like this.
Because, you know, we could definitely use some extra stuff.
Well, you tell them that the field commander has will cover any additional costs beyond the materials themselves. So,
Oh, okay, wonderful. Okay, awesome.
I had
Uh,
another question, if I may, Commander.
of course,
Do you know of a family here at Hosberg? Horse ranchers, I believe, by the name of Roth.
yes, I do actually. They've supplied most of the horses that we'll be using in our endeavor. Yes, they've been very helpful to us. I've dispatched. They're a little outside of our current fortifications, so there's a smaller garrison that is currently there to protect the horses, as vital as they are to our war effort. Why?
I would request directions to this place. I have something to return to their family.
Of course, I can arrange an escort.
Only if your forces are not needed elsewhere.
As long as within the next few days, a lot of preparations we've made, it would probably be good for us to requisition more horses for the cavalry. We've lost some, unfortunately, due to the cold, so not a problem. I promise.
Thank you.
Well, is there anything else I can help with?
Is Amaris in the room still?
She is, but if you want to catch him when she's not in the room, I can make that happen.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe things are kind of wrapping up, and she's she excuses herself from the room.
Thank you for the clean bandages, by the way.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Just don't let it happen again, I guess.
Oh, it's definitely going to happen again.
I figured. She gives like a wink over to Garahel and then leaves.
What is that? What's
know,
going on? What's
what is
happening?
this? What
Spill
is
right
that?
now.
Go on. We want this.
That's
Give us the tea,
really
girl.
None of your business.
Oh, it's none of our business. Then you just went up to him and be like, hey, get the hell, what's up, boo? Mwah, mwah, right in front of us. You don't make us say that it's not of our business and you do that right in front of us. We are sassy bitches.
Everything Garas just said times 2.
I did miss all of you.
We missed you too.
How long has that been going on?
It's been a long winter, okay?
Okay, so several months.
Oh.
The Ruby Drakes have been a vital asset to our war effort.
I bet she has.
Asset.
Right there.
Amanis and I have an informal relationship, yes.
Oh, so it's casual right now? So it's just, okay. So it's keeping it casual.
It's not
Casual, but you're
really-
just like doing PDA in public. Like
Oh,
that can be
okay.
casual
It's
too.
not-
Don't get me
okay.
wrong.
She's not really...
The type to be tied down.
No, yes, yeah.
Can't tie down that firebrand.
Do you
And
want
given-
to tie her down?
Or do you want her to tie you down?
You can
I
say
need more wine if we're going to be venturing into this, but... Things are complicated. There are other delicate political forces at play.
I did not think you were going to use the word political.
Carter's gets it.
Carter's learned about jokes since you
I'm
you
picking
left.
up on that, yeah.
We're so proud of him. He's like so funny.
Hilarious.
I do not know what they are talking about.
He's funnier than Garas for sure.
You know, yeah, I'll
I
accept
agree
that.
with that.
I believe I was always funnier than Garas.
True.
Oh!
Oh, see, there it is right there. Oh, Carter. Slaps
your ass.
Carter on the back.
So you guys are just like, you're like a thing right now for however long you're a thing.
I guess that's one way to put it, yeah.
Okay. I can respect that.
Yeah, respect.
She has
She's
much
hot.
more optimistic output on how this war is going to end and which of us are going to survive it.
Oh, I'm sure she thinks you're going to like both be super heroic and survive and then like travel the world. Like,
Oh
while,
no,
like,
she's
killing
convinced
dragons
I'm
and
going
stuff.
to. She's convinced I'm going to die. So that's.
Oh. Well, at least she knows what she's getting into.
Right.
Good for you.
Well, we're happy for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Whatever makes you happy. She's hot though.
Super hot.
I'm not going to argue with you there.
Yaz has found a book somewhere and has just seated herself in the corner with a glass of wine.
Leads over to the she's probably reading about titties.
I think she is pretending that she's reading, but she's actually writing her titty smut in there.
Yeah.
Well, I have some planning to do for the draft up our battle plans for the next coming days.
Is that what the Matas calls it?
Could you direct me to those research materials you had mentioned?
Anything, yes, to get out of this conversation.
Thank you.
So, unless there's anything else you want to talk with Garahel about, which you can, like he was implying, there's probably going to be they're going to have to muster their forces and prepare for the assault against the Darkspawn. They have a loose plan in place. I did want to talk about very briefly, because we're going to be getting into a little period of downtime, but there are also things that y'all can do to prepare and potentially help with for the upcoming battle, since you have said that you want to participate in that. You're more than welcome to just walk away at this point. If
That'd be
like.
kind of crazy.
That would
Yeah, be kind of dickish of us.
but I don't want to feel like I'm railroading y'all into something. Yeah. Let's talk about this a bit, and then we'll take our break, and then we'll probably just have downtime stuff for the rest of the session. But the way that we are going to be doing a mass battle as part of this, so we are going to be playing out the fight to see how it goes. The way that this works, it's a series of checks. It's an advanced skill test between the two commanders of the opposing armies, Garahel for the Wardens and the Darkspawn commander for the Darkspawn. The test that we will be making, it takes place over 3 stages, and there are different checks that are made during each stage. So I've already planned things out as far as like what's going to happen stuff, but stage 1 is the opening moves. Essentially, the way that this will all work is there is a target, like a success level for each stage. I can go ahead and tell you what those numbers are going to be. So Garahel will be needing to beat a 13 to succeed on his checks. The Darkspawn Warden, or the Darkspawn Commander, will need to be beating a 17 on their checks to succeed. Those are based on, in the book, it outlines like difficulties depending on what the most troops are. Now the things that get into play in the way that y'all can help is there are modifiers that are going to be happening with each of these rolls that'll make or break the success threshold, or the difficulty, or like modifiers onto the attributes that they're adding. So the Wardens are dealing with a -2 modifier because they're outnumbered 3 to 1. They have a -3 modifier because the enemy is in fortifications, because the Darkspawn are currently fortified within the deep roads. And there's a negative modifier on both sides for the weather, but that's just canceling each other out, so I'm not giving it to either of them because of the snow. There are certain ways at different stages of the battle, specialist troops come into play that'll give bonuses to those. So like if in the first stage of the battle, things like rangers, scouts, archers, like those come into play and would give like a bonus to specialists there. In stage 2, having like those are more like your shock troops, like your heavy infantry coming through in your vanguard, you get bonuses for you get a bonus for special troops for those. And then the last one for the finishing moves, the third stage of the conflict, bonuses for like cavalry, chevaliers, things like that. So the Wardens have chevaliers on their side. They're gonna have a bonus during the last stage if everything else goes to plan. But you have to win 2 of the 3 stages to succeed in the fight. And the way we determine in each of the stages who succeeds and fails is based on an advanced skill test. So if you succeed on the roll, the result in the dragon die adds to your successes. Whoever gets for this one, it's 15 successes first, it wins that conflict, wins that engagement or that stage.
So it's the same, because that's the same rule we were using for the the traveling checks, right? Is that
Kind
you
of,
have to
yeah.
make the
It's
more
not-
complex,
well,
but you have to make the target number, and then like whatever's on the dragon die is gonna add
yes,
a number
yeah.
of successes. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So there are. So y'all can do things to make sure that Garahel is. There are certain things on play to make sure Garahel is succeeding on most of the checks
Like
and
taking a nap?
generating points, and things that you can do potentially to create conditions that'll make it harder on the darkspawn too. So if you can come up with anything creative that you might want to pitch to Garahel, or like things that you want to add, that might help. I have a loose battle plan as it exists right now that Garahel has put in place, and modifiers for that. If y'all want to just leave it up to him, that's fine, and he might be totally fine with that. But if you have other things that you want to add, right now the only specialist troops that the wardens have are the chevaliers. They don't have enough of any other types of troops for them to count as
Scouts,
specialists.
archers.
Yeah.
But we're talking
Yeah.
like war size, so like
Yeah.
you have to have like a significant number of those troops. So if you like wanted to dedicate your time during the next week to like training, helping to train like a large number of wardens, to provide them as specialist troops, potentially could help with that. It's gonna be pretty difficult because you're working on a tight turnaround. But
Yeah. So sounds
Uh,
like, I mean, I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but from my perspective, sounds like best idea. Hear what Garahel's plan is, and then slot ourselves in to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then where
try to help
y'all
some
really
of those
come in, because
checks.
y'all are helping with the fight and stuff, like y'all will be involved too. When it gets when one side gets within 5 points of winning that stage, we enter a crisis point where there will be an encounter or something else that will happen during that time. If you succeed on the crisis point, your side automatically gets 5 points towards victory. So that can swing things, like if the darkspawn are looking like if they get within 5, if you win that crisis point, then you can jump up 5 and potentially close the gap and win that stage.
Gotcha.
How does using the explosives play into this?
Using the what? Oh, the explosives are going to be built into the plan.
Okay. All right.
So I can go loosely over what Garahel's plan is currently, if y'all want me to do that, and then y'all can think about it during the break.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, basically, the battle plan that they have right now, wardens have their scouts and cavalry, and the darkspawn are encamped, so they can't really engage, and they don't have enough people to fully fight and like route the darkspawn, push into the deep roads in order to plant the explosives. So Garahel's plan largely involves drawing the darkspawn out, draining out their resources, and then having scouts infiltrate the deep road. So essentially sending a first attack, the vanguard, to bait the darkspawn into leaving their fortifications, or as many of them as possible, dispatching garrisons to flank, and a few like shock troops to head into the deep roads, dividing those explosives into 3 groups, each of those groups planting them at the known exits and detonating them, at which point the chevaliers, the cavalry, would be able to rout the now exposed darkspawn who do not have access to reinforcements, and defeat them in the field at that
Okay.
point. So
All right. Okay. Because
I have
I
some
was
thoughts.
yeah.
I have
All
some
right.
thoughts.
yeah.
Okay.
So that is their current plan, which would, if all that goes to plan, would give them an element of surprise during the if they can manage to swing it within the last stage, but they have to get to that stage first. So
Lucky for them, they now have a fucking master of disguise on staff.
so a lot of it comes down to protecting the cavalry and the chevaliers until the rest of the plan has been executed, and then being able to pincer move attack from all sides. But yeah, that is largely their current plan. So y'all can think about that for a bit. And yeah, any other questions before we go to break? Well, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go and take our break here, everyone. Take some time to refresh, do what we need to do, and then we'll come back and do the scenes that we kind of have in place and the things that people want to do, and then get ready for the battle. So, thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back very soon. Stay tuned. Our break. We're going to go ahead
I
and
look
jump
so
back
much
in.
shorter than Van right now.
Leaning
That's why
really
you
far
look
back.
like Van's little sister who is awkwardly sitting in the
This
background.
is my little sister, Christina.
I just wanted to watch today.
She's
I'm
never
not here.
played. She's never played Dungeons and Dragons before, but like I think she'd be really good at it. So
I think it looks like a lot of fun.
yeah, she's cool.
Thanks.
How do you use this dice? It has lots of sides on it.
So,
I'm just sitting really far forward and Sid's sitting really far back. So if we stay in our chairs, normally we look like we're the same size.
yeah.
Force perception.
So you have some downtime, and there are a lot of things that you wanted to do. I know each of you have at least one scene that you want to get up to with your characters. Like I said, it probably is like a week or two until they're like the full battle is going to happen. A lot of like marshaling forces, preparing for the siege, and all that good stuff. I know outside of the role-playing scenes, a couple of other things you wanted to have a blacksmith work on your armor, which I don't know if we'll play that out, or we probably won't play that out, but maybe that'll be something we can talk about towards the end, or after the session, to figure out exactly what y'all want. And then we talked about preparing for the battle, your characters contributing to the war effort, which is something else that maybe save for the end. So I figured probably best to start with the role-playing scenes that you want to do, and then we can backtrack for all the other stuff you're doing during this week or two.
I have a question.
Sure.
You might have already answered this, but we've gotten a lot of information about rules and stuff. So as far as like the role playing that we're doing right now, what's the timeline that we're looking at with like essentially before it's like, all right, battle stations, everybody? Like how much time do we have in between? Is that kind of nebulous, or is our good friend Gary like, all right, in fucking 3 days we're gonna rock their shop?
Like as far as like when everyone will be marching out to the dark spawn. Like I said, I think maybe we'll say like 2 weeks.
Like 2 weeks, okay.
I think, yeah.
I just want to make sure I have that right.
Because they didn't really have a formal plan in place. It was mostly like, winter's ending. What are we going to do to like hold off the siege? Now they have a plan that could actually use to attack. Because beforehand, attacking the dark spawn at the entrance to the deep roads was sort of a pointless endeavor, because they would just reinforce themselves immediately after.
Right. But now we can shut that down.
Yeah, now we can shut that
Okay,
down.
so like a 2 week.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, who wants to kick us off? Who wants to go first?
I will cause drama when and wherever everyone wants me to. I also have a question about the joining.
Okay.
We're not allowed to be there, right?
No.
Okay.
Can we make a roll to sneak in and try to spy on it because we're curious?
Yes.
Yes, you could.
How mad are they gonna get? We brought the explosives that are
get
basically
caught,
gonna help them win.
If you get caught, you could get in a lot of trouble for that.
From who?
Anyone. This is their secret.
Who's gonna get mad at us? Garahel?
Yeah.
I feel like if Garahel caught
Garahel's
us,
chill, but there is a certain amount of respect for their traditions that they
Garahel
do.
will probably be like, guys, come on.
I still have
Really?
I have a +8.
Okay, so here's what Wally says. I support whatever antics that you want to do in trying to sneak in. Because I think you could tell that Garas is nervous. Like, you see, like, the days leading up to it, Garas is nervous. He's kind of like, he's very, uneasy. He's not second guessing himself where he doesn't want to do it, but he's obviously, this is something he's incredibly nervous about. And he kind of wishes that his friends were there, but he knows he can't have them there.
Yeah, and I think leading up to it, like, I guess we're doing this first. Is that okay, Wally?
I'm fine with it. Yeah, totally
Yeah,
fine with
that's
it.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just had my question. But no, I think because like leading up to it, like, because Venehn will like dunk on his friends 100% all the time until they're really seriously going through. So, like, he only dunks on them when they're feeling good about themselves because they can take
Yeah.
it. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's clued. I mean, I think everybody is clued in to that because Garas doesn't. I don't want to prescribe things onto Garas, but also I feel like as much as Garas thinks he's hiding his feelings, like we've been around him, especially Venehn, but everybody has been around him enough to be like, oh, he's freaking stressed.
Yeah.
So I think if there is any like antics, like I think the sneaking in, I won't speak for Yasmera because she has her own motivations, but for Venehn, it is really like not. He knows probably the wardens on the surface would be like, oh, this is disrespectful, but that means less to him than knowing that Garas is safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not really out of disrespect, it's just about out of, like, different priorities.
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear, like, coming through, like, if Venehn were to do this, it would not be, like, because he's being shitty.
Yeah.
Yas would 100% be doing it.
For science.
And honestly, to make sure that Garas is okay, but hiding the fact that she's also doing it to make Garas feel okay by 100% saying that she's curious about the actual.
You can have more
ceremony.
than one priority, that's okay.
Yeah.
We're sneaking in.
Okay.
I just wanted it to be very clear up front that we weren't doing it to be assholes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's start with we'll start with Garas then.
Wally, I'm so sorry if I put you
Oh
on
no,
the
I'm
spot.
ready for it.
I think-
I'm ready for it.
Okay,
I'm totally
okay.
ready for it. Yeah.
So, I think we'll play this out over like a course of, because like I said, it'll be a couple of days. So when do you think Garas goes to, because you know Sergeant Hansen's the one that's going to be taking you through the joining. Do you think, like, does Garas in his nervousness like go to talk and ask questions to Hansen
Yes. Because Garrus's whole thing is he will always put up bravado no matter what he does. So I think that he approaches Hansen in a very rare moment of zero bravado. Like, he just pulls him aside and outright just straight shoots, asks him like what the deal is with what is the process that goes through with it.
Yeah, I think he like, you approach him at one point, like out in like the training yards. You can see he's working with a number of recruits, some of which are around your age, some are younger, but you can see like have not had nearly the amount of like combat training to begin with that you have had just over a life of dueling and things like that. So you kind of approach him and bring up this question. He says, right, let's talk privately about it. Come on."
Right, of course.
And he motions to one of the other wardens who steps in to kind of lead the training exercises, and he begins to kind of walk with you around the yard. It's mostly other wardens here, so he's not too concerned about people necessarily overhearing at this point, like conversations are going to be happening. And he says, I assume you know at least a little about the wardens and who we are.
I mean, I know as much as what people say about it.
Every warden here is I suppose the most simple way to put it is we have dedicated ourselves to serving the people of Thedas. Not a king, not a crown, not a land, but the people. We protect them from monsters. From things that want nothing but to kill and consume.
So,
And in doing so, we freely give our lives to that service.
so then, so is that why you guys just take this stuff in you willingly so you could fight the monsters? I mean, I'm not saying that some of you did take it willingly. I'm certain there were some of you took this thing by accident or something.
There are some here that were under the same situation as you. Some that had their families killed by Darkspawn, or themselves were attacked and infected and had no other recourse. I'd say maybe less than a quarter of our ranks. Most don't survive that process. Most are killed by the Darkspawn or succumb to the taint before they're able to go through the trials that are necessary to make oneself a warden. The rest, saying it willingly is maybe a simplification. There are some that do so because they believe it to be a great honor, and they want nothing more than to serve as a warden. Probably 1 in 100 go that route. The rest find themselves here because they simply have no other option. People that couldn't afford to feed themselves or their families.
Can I be honest with you?
Sure.
I'm not certain that I fully explained my situation. I mean, you know that I have the taint, but someone forced this on me against my will. As in, their whole intent was for me to go through this. They wanted me to see what they go through. They wanted me to see why they are doing everything they're doing, and what they're doing is horrible, horrible things. So, I mean, I say this to say that he nervously rubs his arm a bit. How do I know that when I go through it, that suddenly I won't end up like them?
The joining doesn't change anything about who you are. You're the same person going in as you come out. I can confirm that, as I've been exactly where you're standing right now. I had my doubts. I heard the stories. I knew going into it that there was one in 4 recruits don't survive the joining. And there I stood, looking at the 4 other friends that I had made, those that I had trained alongside, knowing that wondering if I was the one that was going to die. I'm not saying that's the same thing you're going through. Obviously, you've been confronted, and I understand a bit from what Garahel told me. You've experienced something very complicated.
Putting it lightly, yeah.
Because whereas anybody else who comes here with the taint and who is facing down death, they tend to look at it and channel an anger towards the creatures that we are sworn to fight. No Darkspawn did this to you. This takes you no closer to seeking your revenge. But I can tell you that if you survive the joining, you'll have a greater opportunity at having that revenge someday in the future.
I'm going to be honest with you. My life is kind of all about that. Like, I got a lot of people on a shit list that I just want to cross off.
Well, you find that motivation is very common amongst our ranks, but I'll also share one bit of advice that I have after having done this for many years now. The recruits that dedicate themselves to seeking revenge often find that when they strike down that creature, another one just steps up behind it. Vengeance has a way of multiplying.
Garas looks taken back by those words that Hansen said. And he thinks about it. He like kind of pauses and he's quiet for a bit. But what if that there's this one source of anger and vengeance that is just right there? Like, you could just reach out and just grab it at any given time.
I guess I'd ask why you haven't taken it to this point.
Oh. Huh. You're pretty wise, Hansen.
I'm not. I've just been doing this a long time.
Well, whatever the outcome is, I guess I'm pretty glad I'd have a pal like you on my side.
That's the best part of this whole situation. We all know what we're facing, and we all know one day we'll hear the calling, and our time will be up, some sooner than others. But until now and then, when you see a griffin on a banner or in the sky, you know that you have a brother, sister, who understands what you're going through and who will fight alongside you until the end.
Garas wipes a tear from his eye. Okay, I'm ready.
Well, I know Garahel has told me that you don't have to go through the same training as the rest of the recruits, but I might advise maybe stepping in and helping them out a little bit until tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could help out. I mean, I'm kind of a badass. And let's be honest, me and you, we had a bit of a synergy on the battlefield earlier.
I've seen
I
you
mean,
fight.
Don't tell me you didn't catch my eye. I looked at you and you put your shield down and I did the thing when I ran up it and then I jumped off it and landed on the roof. Like, that was straight up non-verbal communication right there.
Yeah, I was a bit taken aback by that. Nonverbal communication doesn't seem like your strength.
Oh, it is not that one bit.
I imagine that was Venehn from like across the pitch,
Yeah.
like on the other side of the courtyard.
Ayo. Sorry.
The one thing that
No,
we
I'm
won't
not.
have
No, you're not sorry. Shut up.
You fucking
one
got your
thing-
ass, dude.
the one thing that we won't have time to work on before our training, and one thing I can tell you are sorely lacking is a maybe self-discipline.
Ugh. Fine, okay. I guess I'll work on that.
And taking orders.
Okay, yeah. I guess I could work on that too.
Well, then as your first order, join the other recruits. And don't hurt them too bad.
Yes, sir. And he will head on over to help out the other recruits.
Okay.
Is there like a role involved in this? Because I'm Wally, I know what you mean when I say this, and it's from a place of love. I want to see Garas get his shit absolutely rocked by a Grey Warden.
Oh, like to see whether I think
Meaning,
that for
like-
the joining, there will be a role for the joining.
No.
To see if Garas survives.
No,
but
I
yeah.
know that, and I'm ready for that drama. But
One roll.
Yep, one roll.
what if there's just like a fun role for Garas training?
So you just want to see Garas like fulfill the tradition of Garas getting his ass kicked?
Yeah.
I want Wally to succeed.
Uh-huh.
I
You
want
Garas to fail.
Garas to get his fucking clock cleaned
Yeah,
by a
Garas,
Grey Warden.
why
It's
don't
like dress
we-
rehearsal. So the training's like
It-
dress rehearsal where you get your ass kicked, so you know what to improve on, and then the performance is your joining check.
Yeah.
That's how that works, right?
Yeah.
Is that you guys
I
can
guess.
say you guys can say no. This is just I know we don't normally do wishes before the
No,
end
I'm
of the
down with this.
session.
I'm down with this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Why
guys,
don't you
guys
go
can
ahead?
totally say no. Wally can totally say no.
Oh no. I am not even going to make the role because it is 100% a tradition that when Garas trains with other people, he gets his ass kicked. Like he
Yes.
learns from it.
Yes.
He 100% improves and learns from it, but he will get his ass kicked. And it is the most comedic thing that you could ever see in your entire life.
But like also it's good for him.
yeah.
That's how he knows how to do so many different things.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt that Garas, that you are probably more proficient than with a sword than anyone else here. Like what's your attack modifier? I forgot.
My attack modifier with my sword is +8 to hit.
Okay.
So then I think what we want to watch is Garas let a Grey Warden win.
Yeah, well, here's what I want to give you. So I think that is totally fine. Like, you know, maybe you pick up a sword, like, because Garas, you typically fight with like a rapier.
Yeah.
Most of the swords that they're using are like long swords, bastard swords, like things with a bit more heft for cleaving through dark spots. And I think,
bastard swords.
I think that you go.
I say that directly to Garrus's face.
They tend to use more like heavier weapons because that tends to be more efficient for like killing something in one hit, whereas you are more used to using more finesse weapons,
Okay.
which you know, again, there are many of all types here. Like the wardens do not follow like one creed or one like fighting style. Like they are just trained to like what is the best way for me to kill a creature.
So
And it's not,
I
like,
think
fancy.
I think for this scene, right? Because Garas knows how to use a longsword. He knows how to use a bastard sword because of his training with Lucia. But this time around, he's trying to learn to use a great axe. And use
Okay.
like you see, because it's this whole thing where he is like he sees everyone using the swords and he's like, yeah, I want to try something new. And he sees a great axe just laying there, right? And he's like, what this is no big deal. He picks it up, he's like, hit, and like he's trying his best to just heft it up and swing it, and it takes minutes and it takes a long while. He finally just gets one full swing in, and it's just the most feeble looking swing that you've ever seen with it. It's just like like that, and it took him 15 minutes just to do that.
What if hold on, what if he actually gets like a full arc swing, but then like the strength of the impact, the axe kind of keeps going and picks you up with it. So like you get
Like
the
you
full
hit the
swing,
training
and then
dummy,
you
but you kind of flip over the other side of the training dummy.
And I like think there's like this montage of like where there was one point where he was trying to swing it that you just see him give up. He's like sobbing, sitting next to the great axe, just sobbing in his hand. And then
No,
he gets
that
back
was
up
a
and-
cool flip. We were actually just saying that the way you get beat up is that you just picked up this axe you found, and it's like the Grey Warden that it belongs to comes out of the mess hall. It's like, what the fuck? Give me back my axe! Punches you
what
in
I
the
want,
face.
the only roll that I want you to make right now is a
Oh.
Constitution stamina roll.
Okay.
That was like a really cool flip. You're doing a good job.
Stamina.
Yeah, Constitution stamina. So if
That
you have a stamina
is,
focused, you can add it.
13.
Okay, so I think you think here is what it is. Like you decide like to try, and I think like Sergeant Hand like gives a look like, why is he picking that? Like that's not. I didn't. He doesn't use an axe. I saw him fighting with a rapier before. Like I know he's very good with that rapier. But you practice, you train with the using the axe and maybe some other like heavier weapons. Both with the training dummies and a little bit of sparring, and mostly like it is. Make also a communication. We can go with persuasion.
A persuasion.
Uh-huh.
That is 19.
19. So by the end, like you're training with these other recruits, and you are both getting your ass kicked and kicking your own ass and like doing different drills and stuff. And by the end of it, like you along with the other recruits, like exhausted, like spent by the end, like it's like mid-morning. You're just like fully like drenched in sweat, bruised, exhausted, but you've also like bonded a lot with the other recruits because they've been training like this for months now, and you're coming in and training. You know, the joining is going to be happening like this evening or the next evening, and so like there's a lot of like distrust, like who is this person, they think they're better than us, like all this, and you come in and you know kind of make your like ham it up a little bit, and but also put like a pretty good faith effort into like learning some other things, and I think it builds a very quick sense of camaraderie with the other recruits and endears you to also some of the other warden like full Grey Wardens that are there, in that you are willing to step outside your comfort zone and not coming in from a place of like I'm better than all of you and I'm just gonna like kick it and then leave. So yeah, it does a lot, and I think you know by the end of the training, Sergeant Hanson comes in and says, "All right, recruits, good job. Everyone gets plenty of rest for the rest of the day. We're going to return to your bunks. Drink. Don't go too heavy on all of it. I want to fresh."
Like
for tonight.
Garas is dry heaving in the corner. Like,
Yeah, Garas, maybe drink some water. Some water for you. And somebody else comes, it's like, I got it, and heads over and gets you some water too, and says, but rest up, and we'll meet back here after sundown tonight.
oh, you mean for the word? Oh, it's sundown tonight. Sundown tonight.
Sundown tonight.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
Rest.
All right.
Relax.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm going to lay down right here. He just lays on the floor.
Dismissed.
Thank you.
They all return, some of them helping you to somewhere more comfortable. And yeah, I think you have kind of a relaxing afternoon with the other wardens that you're going to be going through the joining with. Maybe learn a little bit about them. You know, some of them coming from like some of them are soldiers that are looking, you know, either didn't see any way to rise in the ranks of the Lord's army, or they're like or their army was defeated, and so they're looking for somewhere else to go. Some of them are there are a couple in the groups that are criminals that were arrested for theft or other petty crimes, and were given the option to become Grey Wardens, to be conscripted rather than serving out whatever sentence that they had in place. So there's a wide array of stories. There aren't a whole lot of recruits. I'd say there's 7 in total that are going to be joining with you, and they're but you establish with that persuasion check a fairly good bond with them.
There are the names of the recruits are Biggs, Wedge, Sid, Clive, Jesse, Marcus, and Terry.
Okay, I'm gonna trust you to remember all of
You
those.
trying to get me killed over here? 1 in 4, Wally. 1 in 4.
One of those could be the NPC.
Well, it's named Sid, CID, not SID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An assumption
and
we would all make.
Yeah, it
And
is.
I'd be curious, so a lot of them are also equally nervous about they understand the risks here and the potential that they're looking at a group of 8 now, assuming 2 of them probably won't make it, and are there's that sense of camaraderie and nervousness too, looking around each other who is gonna be the weak link here. Does that something that maybe inspires Garas to be braver in the face of this, or does that make his anxieties
I
worse?
think for this, because there's now 8 of us in that whole feeling, I think we're all sitting at a table, all of us are we're at this our own table, all just drinking, and Garas looks around and he kind of he knocks back his drink and slams the mug on the table, and he stands up and he says, "Look, let's be real. We're not all going to make it. Some of us may come out of this alive, some of us may not. But I know this one thing for sure. Whatever happens, every single one of you gonna be on my mind and my heart. Because I came into this with, complete strangers, but with the little time that we've spent together, your guys are my family."
Terry holds up a mug and says, yeah. Muggs says, "All right, here," and then they all clink their glasses together.
So Terry's definitely gonna die, right? You guys picked up on that.
Yeah, when that happens, he looks over and says,
Yeah.
"God, Terry's gonna die."
We both kind of went, Terry.
Well, you think I'm gonna die?
Oh, no, Terry,
no
you're
one
gonna
said
be-
that out loud.
Terry, no one
Who
said
said
that.
I'm
No,
gonna die
Terry,
now?
you're not gonna die, Terry. Don't worry.
Someone
we
said
love
I'm gonna
you.
die.
No, Terry, no.
I was just really excited to meet all you.
You know what, Terry? We're
Stop
so
it.
happy. We're so happy that to meet you, because out of all of us, I did not expect for you to be so good at cross stitching.
Thank you. My grandmother told me.
I've changed my mind. I don't want to use my stealth to sneak into the joining. I want to use my stealth to kidnap Terry and keep him safe from harm.
I think I'm gonna make a great Grey
Garrus,
Oh, you're good.
you'll be fine. We're taking Terry.
We're taking Terry.
Look, all I know is this: all of you, whatever happens, just come down to the Red Jenny Winery whenever you get a chance. Get some wine,
You
we
own a winery?
Oh yeah, I got a winery. Yeah, the wine you're drinking right now. This is where it came from.
Well, I'm definitely gonna come down and visit you.
Thank you, Terry. Oh my God, I hope he doesn't die.
Mug's like, Terry's definitely gonna die. What'd you say? None. So, the day passes. The sun begins to set. You spend some time getting to know Terry and the others.
I'm sorry, but they just blew the bear ball out of his head, and
There was
I
so
just
much cat
lost
hair
it.
on my hand. I'm sorry.
I just
Did-
lost
He
it.
made a wish.
Did you make a wish? Yeah.
Yeah.
Several.
Yes.
Was it
And
for
that-
Terry?
It was for Terry.
It was for Terry.
Okay, good.
We have a cat friend here who's thinks he's helping.
Shedding.
And at the end, after the sun has set, you all make a very slow trek out into the courtyard, where you find Hanson waiting, along with a few other Grey Wardens as well. There are some torches lit, and you can see there's some Grey Wardens like around, like near the edge of the courtyard, that are like just kind of waiting because they know what's happening tonight. Even if they're not participating, they're there for the show of like kind of like support, camaraderie. But currently the kind of staying at the forefront, Sergeant Hanson is there with a torch in hand and says, "Follow me."
Okay. He gives like a glance around, looking at the others. He's also kind of looking to see if Yaz and Ven and Carter are there too, before he heads out.
Oh yeah, the three of you could be there at this point, visibly, with having an issue. Are all three of you there, knowing what's happening
Of
tonight?
course, yeah.
I am not, but I told Garas beforehand that I'm not going to be there because I'm already going to be creeping around.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wished him good luck. Good luck and much love beforehand. I'm already creeping.
You are you are all the eight of you are brought with the command, or with the sergeant and a couple of the other wardens, and you are led out of the courtyard and actually out into the darkness of the night. The Yaz and Ven going to be following.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, roll stealth checks. Carter, are you?
I'm trailing behind. Carter's stealth isn't that great, and he realizes the danger of getting caught. But if these two can blaze a trail, I could stealth along behind.
Do I get any
Okay.
kind of bonus for like going ahead, like pre-hiding?
Do you have a thing for that?
Well, no, that's why I'm asking you.
No, you just get a stealth check.
I don't think. Okay. Okay.
21.
Okay.
Oh, I did go into shadow mode as well.
Okay.
21.
19.
Okay. Carter, what'd you get?
Stealth? No. 17 still.
Wow.
Damn.
I didn't do
Hey,
too bad.
Carter.
We
Okay.
love
the,
Garas and want him to be okay.
The three of you follow in the darkness, far behind, and you are not noticed. With the bright lights of the torches that the wardens are holding, all of you kind of following them, like sticking to the shadows behind. You see that he kind of leads them around the walls, and out into a small field, where there is already a fire burning out there, and a couple of other wardens already waiting. And as you arrive, Carter, Yaz, and Ven, the three of you can kind of see from a distance, maybe not close enough to hear, but you can see what's happening. You are Garas, you are led with the others, and Hanson stops, kind of like, they form like there are five other wardens there that are behind Hanson, kind of keeping to the side. You can see like they look tense, but they not in the sense of like this is a very heavy event, and it doesn't look like they're not there to like hurt you or anything unless you try to run. And you see Hansen steps in and says, I've been very clear with all of you in your training leading up to now. This is not an easy task you are here to undertake. Most survive the joining. Some do not. Some die under the effects of the taint. Others die when fear overcomes them and they attempt to run. Some of you wouldn't make it far anyway, and you're here because you have no other options. But every brother and sister among our ranks has stood where you are now. If not in location, at least in spirit. You've heard our oaths before, no doubt. In war, victory. In peace, vigilance. In death, sacrifice. What you face here is death, as you will face every day until your last. But whether it be here or out there, your death as a warden is always a sacrifice. It is not in vain. You do so to protect the peoples of these lands. It looks to one of the others and nods, and you can see they bring forth a looks like a kind of a very tarnished like brass chalice, and says, as wardens, as initiates, you are made privy to our secrets, and you will hold them as your oaths. Each of you, stepping out from the circle, will be a warden and will have the authority and the power to bring others into our ranks. This is a charge that you should take heavily upon yourselves, for it is a heavy burden that we bear. And you can see as he does so, begins to some of the other wardens come in, and they begin to take out some vials that they begin to pour into this chalice, and you gather some of like, it doesn't really like explain what they're putting in there necessarily, but all of you can see. I will go ahead and allow any of you that are witnessing this, including Garas, to make a cunning check.
17.
Okay.
$19.
12. I rolled pretty good too.
So Carter's smart, right? Like,
Yeah.
I have a good cunning score. It's +4. Yeah, this is the I didn't quite roll 3 more ones on this cunning check, but I rolled 2 ones and a 2, so I got an 8.
Okay.
Carter's
beat
thinking
it.
really hard about not breathing too loud. I think that's, yeah.
Boy, I'm really glad that you're not the one going through the joining tonight.
Venenn's not thinking.
You
Yasmera, what do you know?
Yasmera picks this up, Garas, you pick up some of this because some of this looks familiar to you. There's some herbs that they ground together and put in. They also take out a small vial of lyrium, which they add to it as well. There's also a mixture of darkspawn blood that they add to it, as well as another vial that is brought out and is in a case, a very small vial. And this one he actually holds up and says, "This is the blood of an archdemon. This is the core of our ritual, our joining. Many of our brothers sacrificed themselves during each blight to slay an archdemon, to slay the being that brings the blight with it. A drop of this is worth the lives of 1,000 wardens." And takes it and adds it to the mixture as well. And begins to, and they mix it together, and they say, or he says, "I will ask each of you to take the oath."
Okay.
And he says for you to repeat, he says, "In war, victory.
In war, victory.
In peace, vigilance.
In peace, vigilance.
In death, sacrifice."
In death, sacrifice.
And then he takes the chalice and one by one down the line offers it to each of the recruits to drink from. So, here's the mechanic that is in play here. And it's very simple. And it actually gives you much greater odds than a warden would typically have. You roll 3d6.
Mm-hmm.
You survive as long as you don't roll 3 ones.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to roll in the Zoom, though.
Okay.
I'm also
Roll 20.
glad that I didn't
In roll 20.
join the wardens today.
That's what I said. You've rolled 3 ones already.
Easy peasy
today.
lemon
Yeah.
squeezy, baby. Come on.
Yeah, baby, let's go.
You got this.
So you can just roll 3d6.
That was fine. It's totally fine.
Oh boy.
Again, it's very small odds. It's like 1 in 260.
Yeah, but I
But you
rolled a
can
4 and a
die.
4 to 2. So
So you rolled very well. I am going to roll for your compatriots differently. There is an option in the book to make the joining more as deadly for PCs as it would be for anyone else, which is to have like a to roll a 14 with no bonuses. That's what the book suggests, is saying making the joining exactly as deadly for the PCs is for everyone else, saying by requiring a target number 14 roll with no bonuses to survive, but obviously would be less feasible for a TTRPG. I'm gonna roll for the other recruits though, in that way. So
Can I help Terry?
Nope.
I put my hand on Terry's shoulder and I give it a squeeze.
I just want Terry to live. I'm so scared for Terry. My wish is that Terry lives. I wish with all my heart
To fly with dragons.
to fly
and
with
a
Terry.
Terry. You know, and apart.
No, that makes it sound like he died.
Oh no, you're right. No, I forgot I said that.
Bonnie,
Bonnie, why?
Bonnie, why would you do this?
Why would you kill
Okay.
Terry, Bonnie?
Bonnie, why have you done this?
There were 7 of you in total.
Yeah.
Beside this. Okay. I know how many are going to survive. I'm going to roll a die to see if one of the ones that died was Terry.
Oh my gosh!
I'm going to put this at, yeah, this isn't exactly even. I'm going to roll a d4 out in the open. If it is a 1. It's not. It's a 4. Each of you takes the cup in turn, and Garas, as you drink from the chalice, is bitter and is like this like very viscous solution. As you drink it, you feel, because you already had that the taint inside of you and you were feeling that like that come on, you feel this immense pain immediately like rack your body, like that process, that sickness is like accelerated to a point, and you feel coughing and sputtering around you as in turn like all of you feel this like sickness take hold of you, and your hands hit the ground in front of you, fingers mixing with the mud and the ice and the snow, and you can see like dark veins moving down your arm, and you feel this this like this pressure upon you, like your body is being torn apart from the inside, but you push past it and you find centering yourself on that pain, you take control of it and begin to sort of push it back, sort of resisting it and fighting against it. And even as you hear like the screams of agony to your left and right, and you can look just like gazing up at the fire in front of you, you can see like something dark twisting within it, like trying to grasp at you, something trying to pull at you and take control from that pain inside, but you wrench yourself back, and you can see the other warden standing above you, remaining sort of stoic and unflinching as this process takes effect. And after what feels like minutes, hours, days, finally it passes, and you can breathe easier. And you look to your left and your right, and you realize a little over half of you have survived, as 3 of your fellow recruits are lying on the ground, motionless, just sort of blood pooling across the ground around them.
Terry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm right here. Oh.
I know what I said earlier, but I'm a terrible liar.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to make it either.
I'm glad you made it, Terry.
Me too.
Venehn and Yasmera are just in a bush like, yes, fuck, Terry survived.
Oh yeah, Garas too.
And you see...
We knew Garas would survive.
You see the other wardens that are around, like, move forward. You can see, like, a bit of a slump to their shoulders, and they begin to take the bodies of those that have fallen and take them away from the clearing, and moving up in front of you, Sergeant Hansen holds out a hand and says, "Welcome to the Order, brother."
When he says that to Garas, I think there's like this moment of Garas tenses up, because the last time someone said that to him was when Dolan gave him the taint the first time. And like he tenses up a bit, but then he realizes that this time around it's for the better, and he grasps Hansen's hand and pulls himself up.
You take his hand, and you stand a Grey Warden. And that took way longer than I thought it was going to. That's probably all we're going to be able to do tonight. But that was several sessions in the making, so I think we needed to.
Deservedly so, I would
Yeah.
say.
So yeah, you gain a couple of things, Garas, because you survived.
Oh, boy.
So you get to take a advancement in an ability of your choice.
Ooh.
You become a novice in a new talent or gain a degree in a talent you already have. You gain resistance to the taint. And you also, like, narratively have the right of conscription. We can talk about that, but it's not something that's really used that often. And you also learn the joining ritual. And then you gain the ability to detect darkspawn, which is the biggest thing, like, narratively, that comes into play. You can detect darkspawn to a number of yards away equal to 5 times your level. And if you decide to, as a focus, you can take the detect darkspawn focus upon level up, or
Nice.
if you want, because that will give you the more of a chance to sense them out. And yeah, that's gonna be
Dope.
it for today.
That was cool.
As Yaz, Ven, and Carter watch from the shadows.
I'll
and
take a
there we go.
collective breath of relief
Yeah,
that Garrus is alive.
Yes.
yeah. We'll have to figure out which other one survived out of the
Sid
names you
died. Of
gave
course,
me.
Sid died.
Yeah, we are
You
dead.
doomed
but-
Sid.
I think Muggs probably died.
Muggs dead.
No,
Definitely
I liked
Muggs dead.
him. He was
Muggs-
mean.
Yeah, he was mean.
But yeah.
Listen,
and I'll
as
go
long
and say,
as
'cause
Terry and Garrus lived, and that's sort of
That's a win. It's
Yeah.
a win in my
That's the
book.
one.
yeah, I'll go and say it on stream because I always forget to say it on stream. But all of you level up.
Woo! Level
So-
10!
Level
Level
10.
10.
Level 10.
Level 10. Level 10. Dang, I got level 10 and I got Grey Warden shit. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot to add to your sheet.
I got so
Um,
much shit.
Yeah, I grappled
2
for
advancements, you get a couple of talents.
I get a
Garrus is
lot.
about
Yeah.
to bulk out.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really grappled for a long time how deadly I wanted to make the joining, and I decided to just stick with the 3d6 because, oof, boy, that would have been a lot to just kill off.
The moment of silence, like we'd all just be like,
Those of us that played Dragon Age and Origins were silently losing it.
Yeah,
mhm.
Yup.
yeah.
Mhm.
I rolled 7 checks for the wardens.
Oh, you rolled
the
them all
warden recruit-
individually?
I rolled them all individually. They all had a
Oh.
+2. And all 3 that died were 1 short of living.
Oh,
Mm.
That seems right.
oh.
Seems about
All
right.
3
That
of them
seems about right.
that died rolled an 11 +2 for a 13.
I told
Oh.
I told Sid when we get off this call, I'm gonna just give her a rundown of
Oh,
Origins and the joining, and
that's
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
What were their names, the other 2 guys?
God.
So there was
The ones who
Biggs,
died?
Wedge. Yeah, the ones
Yeah,
that
yeah,
died.
yeah.
Yeah, who
in
died?
Origins.
Sid, Biggs, and Marcus.
damn.
Or
We
some-
should write those down somewhere.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I mean, I'm not gonna do it.
We'll
We'll
make
build a
an in
statue to them
memoriam
back
at the end of this episode for YouTube of just in memoriam.
I
of those
will
things.
remember you.
We'll plant some memorial
Wait, no,
trees
no, we
back
play,
at the
no, we
vineyard.
play some Boys to Men. You know, we play some Boys to Men at the end. You know,
Yeah.
it's so hard to say goodbye.
Hope you had the time of your life.
Oh, no more. You got more?
No.
You got more?
None of these are what I would call good songs.
Whoa, whoa,
Whoa, Boys to Men?
Boys
No.
to Men?
I didn't say it was a bad band. It's a good band. I just don't think it's a great song.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Boys to
Men.
Men. Like, oh, really? That's the best you could come up with? There's so many other genders.
I am taken back right now.
They're a great band. I just think the song's boring. I think 98% of sad songs are boring though. So
Well, it's true. That's facts, though.
All right, since
okay,
we
so you
gotta
can't get mad at facts.
close this out, I'm gonna go ahead and ask for everyone to give me the stars and wishes for the night, and we'll start as always with Van.
Yeah, I mean, my stars gotta go to Wally. I mean, for all of it, I think, because it was all incredible. But mostly for me being like, no, I want to see this, and Wally being like, okay, yes. That's true synergy, right there. But no, I appreciate. I mean, obviously, all the things that Wally comes up for Garrus because they're brilliant and fun and amazing. But I also appreciate Wally's sort of energy of like, yes, yeah, you want to see this thing? Sure, fuck it, yeah, I'll do it. It's incredible. It's incredible and wonderful, and I feel like we were all a big part of Garrus's story this evening, and I just really enjoyed it and loved it, and it was really great. Yeah. So my stars for Wally. My wish.
My wish.
I wish.
Is just, and my wish is just for it to be Monday night again, because I know what's coming, because I know which scenes are coming, and I'm just so fucking excited about them. I'm really excited for Carter and going to see Eckert's family and all of that, and whether or not he, does that by himself, and like what that sort of whole like scene negotiation is. I'm very excited for that. Yaz is obviously gonna figure out some like cool lore shit, because she always does, and I love her ability to do that. I love lore, and that's gonna be cool. And I get to finally sit down in a room with my ex and make him talk to me. So like,
Sit down with him.
Yes.
Talk with you.
yeah, yeah,
Long overdue.
yeah. My wish is next time. Because that, like, the stuff that we're about to get to in the next session is what I have been wanting for weeks. It's all the stuff I've wanted. It's the Venehn and his ex stuff. It's the lore stuff. It's the Carter and Eckert stuff. It's just everything. So my wish is for life to keep on happening like it is.
We can do that. I can give that. I can promise that. Thank you, Van. Sid.
My star goes to Ben.
Me?
Yes. For not only having that very awkward, flirty conversation with Lambert, but just taking your shirt off. Really just for taking your shirt off. Yeah. Yeah, my star's to Ben for eye candy. And my wish
I'll
is...
keep doing it.
my wish...
My wish.
I wish.
I do want to get into some of this fun military lore, planning the assault. I love that shit. I'm excited for it. I really want to. Yeah, apparently you are too. Damn.
War games.
War games. I'm excited for it, and also everything else that's been mentioned, obviously. But yeah, and that's
Yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff coming there. Thank you, Sid. Wally.
My star goes to Ven because I will always get a kick when Garas and Ven are being the absolute shit-stirring goblins that they are. And just them, like, reacting to that kiss and getting the information. That whole thing just gave me so much joy because that's them, that is what they do. And whenever they are doing that, it is just peak character for them. And I love it. So that's my star. My wish.
My wish.
my wish.
My wish is for Carter and Garrus to just go full ham on the front lines. That That is my wish because we got to see a taste of it during the battle earlier. I want to see it again, but like on a broader scale.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
kick some ass.
Yeah.
You in for a
excited
scrap?
about that.
I'm down for a scrap.
Let's have a Tilly, boys.
I want to
Go,
scrap.
boys.
That's an
Charts
incredible
off,
wish.
boys. It's time for a
We-
Donnybrook.
We were
Yeah,
over here
Donnybrook.
giggling because me and Sid both said my wish, and Captioner decided that we said my ass. Thanks, Captioner. You
You're the
know what
real
we really
hero.
want.
You're the real hero.
All right. Bring us home, Zeta.
All right. I'm going to do the cheaty double wish. My first wish is star. Yeah, cheaty double star. My first star goes to Sid for Yaz's fluffy griffin moment. I thought it was really cute. We don't get to see that out of her very often. It was nice. And my other star is going to go to Val for making another throwaway NPC that it took like 3 lines for us to be like, nope, we gotta keep him. Nope. This one lives forever.
Just immediately, what's his name?
We'll
What is his
fucking
name?
fight you physically to keep
Die.
make sure you keep playing that character.
I know.
We love Terry.
We love Terry so
Yeah.
much.
I would die for Terry.
I would die for
I
Terry.
know. I gotta add things to my list now.
He's
Now
this game's
Terry's-
David.
He is. He really is.
We're gonna teach him how to shoot a gun.
I've already got so many NPCs to keep track of in this game.
Well,
That's
delete
what-
one of them.
But not Terry or any of the
Not
others.
Terry.
Listen, I tried to delete Terry.
Oh!
Whoa!
That
What? I gave it
that-
a chance.
Really? Really?
Wow.
It was a 1 in 4 chance.
That's
Wow.
That's homophobic.
Wow.
The day after Pride.
It's basically Pride Month. How dare you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
We're only 10
All
days
right.
out.
I am going to end things there.
Wait,
So.
I have a wish.
Oh, wish, yes.
Yep. I've already started thinking about sorts of things that I hope for us to get into whenever we get back to Valroyo. And
In our
I would
tiny
really
little
love,
mini series here.
yeah, in the
Yeah.
tiny miniseries. I would love to really get into some Kunari shit. I would like to see, like, Yaz has been kind of in the background the whole fucking game, and just hasn't been anything that's really brought her into the front and center.
Which
and I'd love
that's
to see
not on
that.
me. That's her stealth rolls.
That
bring
too.
her-
Yeah, I get it. That's her decision, but I want to force
Yeah.
that decision and get to like
Oh.
meet some more of her family and shit.
Oh, trust me.
I still want to
It's-
box Kunari too. Like,
Oh, trust me. We've got, yeah, I am envisioning that obviously the role-playing scenes always taking so much longer than I expect. We'll probably have another full session of downtime next week.
Well, the problem you've run into is that we're not only invested in our own shit, we're all also invested in everyone else's role-playing scenes. So everybody's scenes are gonna take a very long time.
And that honestly, like, is the whole reason that, like, I am always okay with it taking longer. I was like, yeah, let's do some downtime in the middle of this so y'all can, like, I'm
So we
perfectly
can all
happy.
sit here and be like, okay, here's what we want from Garrus's stuff. And then we'll transition over to be Carter's time, and then we'll be okay, here's what we all want from Carter's time. So you do your thing, but also like, well,
Also, we're gonna do some.
also we're gonna insert ourselves into it.
Yeah, it's funny because we're getting close to the point where this arc will have taken place. For this arc will have been almost half the game that we have,
And it's been like 2 weeks.
in
In game time.
game time.
In
It's
game
been
time, yeah.
months.
Oh yeah,
in
it did
game
take
time,
like
this has
2
been the
months and
longest.
travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
traveling a
fair.
lot.
Yeah, this has been a long. I mean, this arc has been long for a reason. But
Okay, so I feel even less bad about what I'm doing.
yeah, I have plans for this was like one of the things that I wanted to do to get you all involved with the actual like the historical events going on during this time period. And yeah, we're gonna get back and get into all that personal stuff. Don't you doubt it. But I'm imagining maybe
We all just wanted the joining so bad.
yeah.
Because that's
We were all like,
fine.
I know. I've been
it-
waiting that. I think we talked about at the beginning, like, my initial thought with this game was for the 4 of you to be Grey Warden recruits and to start
Yeah,
off
we
there
talked
a la,
about it.
a la Dragon Age Origins, but y'all wanted to go a different route, and I was totally fine with that. So, but I at least wanted to get some warden stuff in
Totally
there,
fine with that.
which is why
one
I
of us
forced one of
ending
you to
up-
become a warden.
One of us did, so yeah.
There was
Yeah.
Got
there was
to it.
also a world where all 4 of you got made wardens if those fights had gone badly.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some of us
Um,
didn't even have to fight, so.
Yeah, well, if your encounter had gone poorly, you
That's
could have
true.
also-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some of us didn't even have to fight. There was also a discussion before this session of like, oh, are we gonna need battle maps today? Like, am I gonna? And Val was like, maybe, depending on like how long the roleplay is. We'll get back to the battle maps, everybody, in like 3 to 4 sessions. Don't worry about it. I'm ready. I'm ready for them. I'm ready for them.
Yeah. No, I wanted to give you all some real good moments to roleplay because we've had so much combat the last couple of sessions that I figured y'all needed it. So,
We call this emotional combat.
Yes.
mhm. All right, we're gonna go and end it there. So, thank you
Also
everyone out
Tower
there
Will.
for watching and,
Thank you for the
and
game.
joining us.
Thank you for the game.
Thank you for the game.
As always, I mean, thank you for all of my players for making this game so lovely. This is the only reason that I would even run a game for 33 sessions when I had initially planned to do it for like 10. So
We also got to do a little bit of Wally. Thank you for the game because it was a lot of Garas and we.
It was,
And I mean
yeah,
that in
but
the
we
best
need-
possible way.
We needed it. Garrus
I'm
had-
glad
It was awesome.
I did that for y'all.
I had to give the stage to Garrus because I tried to kill your character.
He
so,
deserved that.
That was from the book.
He deserved it. He deserved the spotlight. And it was wonderful.
But yes, and thank you everyone out there for watching. We'll be back again next Monday with this game for you to join us with. But join us in the meantime for this Thursday back with Elegance and Vigilance. We're playing Good Society and D&D. So join us for that at 7 o'clock Eastern time and everything else in between. But we're over time, so I'll leave it there. I'll see everyone in 1 week. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.